Welcome to my show. I'm a guest here. Her name is Amber Briggle. Mrs. Amber, how are you doing, ma?
I'm so great. Thanks, Timmy, for having me on your pod today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the time and the opportunity, Mrs. Amber. Firstly, you are the founder and the owner of Soma Massage Therapy. Can you please, Mrs. Amber, discuss more about yourself and how you are doing currently now, ma?
Yeah, thank you. So thanks again for having me on today. I've been a massage therapist for about a little more than 20 years. I've been a small business owner since 2011. I have seen a lot, and I think it's important for your listeners to understand that I never really even thought about massage as being a career choice for me. I just kind of naturally fell into it. Certainly, owning a small business was never my intention either. And now we're on the verge of franchising my business because we're doing so well. And like all of this has just been quite honestly just kind of one big wonderful mistake. Not mistake, one big wonderful accident. It's a better word for it. I went to massage school about 20 years ago after I had already gone to a 4-year university and got a really great degree from a really great school, but was having a really hard time finding work after I graduated. I kind of bounced around doing a couple of things for a number of years, and I landed in Boulder, Colorado, which is a very cool, like hippie university town. My husband was going to grad school there, and I was really impressed and inspired with everything that he was doing in in his education. And I was just working kind of in a dead end job that wasn't really fulfilling me, and I wanted to do something different with my life, but I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. But in Boulder, it turns out that one of the very best massage schools in the world at that time was just a few miles from where I was living. I've always been really into alternative methods of healing, holistic medicine. I'm a very touchy-feely, physical, like loving person. So I thought massage might be something I could try. So I applied to the school. I was accepted. I graduated a year later at the top of my class, started my own massage business. Interestingly, I was fired from my very first massage job at a chiropractic clinic. I had a very clear idea of what it is that I wanted to do in massage, and the chiropractor had a very different idea of what I was meant to be doing in his clinic, and they were just not compatible. So he let me go, and then went home and kind of rethought what is it that I want to do with this career choice that is in front of me. And I decided I really just wanted to go into business for myself. So back then, I started my own business, just an independent a solo practitioner working out of someone's office that I was sharing with them. It grew over time. We moved around the world. We eventually landed in the Dallas area, and I very quickly had a supply and demand problem. I had far more demand for my services than I had energy to supply them with. And so I started referring people out to other massage therapists in the area who I knew were quality. You could get some quality work from them. But what I was finding is that some of those clients that I was referring out, because quite honestly, Timmy, I would be booked for weeks, if not months out. And if you wake up and you hurt yourself, you don't want to hear that my next opening isn't for 9 more weeks. Like you want to be seen a lot sooner. So I would start referring people out to other therapists in the area that I knew had some quality work. Not all the time would those clients then come back to me. They would sometimes then stay with that new massage therapist. Maybe they were obviously they were easier to get into see. Maybe their location fit them better. Maybe their schedule fit them better. For whatever reason, they would stay there. And I realized pretty quickly it would make more sense for me to refer people in-house versus sending them elsewhere. So I did all the things that you need to do to start a business. Got all the paperwork ready and just kind of waited until I could find someone whose work was similar enough to my own that if I was full on those days, I could, send them to her in-house and it'd be kind of a compatible fit. She then got very busy and I had to keep growing and growing and one thing led to another. And so eventually I moved out of the spare bedroom of my house. I had a really cute studio that was really hard to find. And it was very kind of cozy and cramped, but we did very well there for a number of years. Then the pandemic hit, and a lot of businesses were closed down. Mine was one of them. And there was really very little we could do in the way of a pivot because we can't do massage from 6 feet apart. We can't do it online. But I really pushed through a lot of tenacity and creativity, found a way to kind of reinvent my business. We reopened. We reopened a couple months later. It was a struggle trying to get therapists to come back to work, trying to convince clients to come in and see us. But eventually, we grew to the point where a year after we had reopened, we had at that point been able to open a gorgeous new studio in a new location. I now have twice as many massage therapists as I had before. I have two locations. We gross over $1 million a year, and now we're looking to franchise. And I'm just so proud of this business and my incredible team. And I'm really excited today to talk more about how I grew this business, but also about the benefits of massage therapy, because I'm really looking as a franchisor to look to really transform the entire industry. What we're doing at Soma Massage Therapy is so drastically different from so many other businesses out there, and I'm excited to talk about that today.
I'm so very much happy that everything is now going in place. Most of the
Yes.
great things in life now happens by accident. Even mine,
Right?
I never ever thought of it. I just said, okay. And it just came out like that. And it's just going, going. Like, wow. Like, it's like this thing is really working. So,
That's
majority
right.
of great
Yeah.
things are by accident.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think just keeping yourself open to just possibilities.
Yeah.
Like what I had planned for my life was not this. But when the opportunity comes and you recognize it as being, something that's got some potential, something that I might enjoy doing, you just kind of open that door and take that next step. And then, just do that enough times and you end up with this, happy accident that I'm living today. And I love hearing that in other people's experiences in their lives too.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
having huge massages, I think it's really, really helps the health. And people too would like to also learn better when it comes to that massage area
Yeah.
because they feel like massage is something that is really, really impactful in the health. But
Yeah.
before we dive there, have you written any book or are you planning to write any book? Do you have any thought of writing any book?
Oh, I would love to write a book. Absolutely. I'd love to write a book about, I've got so many different ideas, and I'm actually planning on starting a series of webinars to kind of get these ideas together and hear what's on other people's minds. I would love to write a book, but it's not something that I've actively started quite yet.
We hope it
Yeah,
definitely happen. I know you're
I
a
hope
busy
so.
person, but it could
Yeah,
definitely
I would love
happen.
to. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mrs. Abba. I would like to dive to that point of massage. Massage is something that is very, very important in our health today. It is really imagined because a lot of stress. This world is heavy currently. I think massage is one of a tool that could really help someone. So,
Yeah.
what do you think are the different type? Do you feel like massage has different type, or there are different ways that there are different type, and do you
Yeah.
feel like they serve different needs? Mr. and Mrs. Abba.
Yeah, there is a lot of different types of massage, and we try to explain to our clients when they call that to book an appointment that not every therapist is going to offer every single kind of massage because there are so many different avenues. There's sports massage, there's prenatal, there's lymphatic, there's cupping, there's a million different things. And so what we learn in massage school are kind of the basics of Swedish massage. Everyone can come out of massage school doing the Swedish massage, which is very more relaxing, really more focused on circulation, not a whole lot of muscle tension, but really definitely stress relief. And then hopefully, if you go to a really good school like I did, they'll also teach you some deep tissue techniques. And I think it's important for people to understand that there's deep tissue doesn't necessarily mean deep pressure. So you can have a deep Swedish, right? But that's not a deep tissue massage. You can also have a deep tissue massage that's maybe a little bit lighter in touch. And what a deep tissue massage is really focusing more on the therapeutic, structural, rehabilitative aspects of massage therapy. So we're going to be focusing on the connective tissue. It's in the massage world, it's called like the fascia. The fascia is like it's this. It runs from everything, the top of your head to the bottoms of your toes, and it connects everything in your body. So we're going to be working on the fascia, myofascial release. Myo means muscle, fascia means fascia. So we're working on that, working on adhesions, scar tissue, and really trying to realign the fibers of the fascia and of the muscles to help help realign your posture, help you breathe deeper, lower your shoulders, help with the plantar fasciitis or whatever it is that you're dealing with in your body. So hopefully, if you go to a good massage school, you're going to also learn deep tissue techniques, which again is a specific focus in massage and not necessarily a type of pressure, if that makes sense. And then, of course, there's lots of other different styles. There's lymphatic massage, which is going to be very, very light because the lymphatic system lies just beneath the skin. So if you push too hard, you're going to be squishing it, and we're really trying to stimulate the flow of the lymph, which can then help with reducing water retention in your body. It can help with increasing the immune system and boosting that. There's also, there's cupping massage, there's prenatal massage, which is obviously specific to people who are pregnant. There's hot stone massage, there's reflexology, there's aromatherapy. There's a million different things that you can be doing with massage therapy. And one of the things that I really am so proud that we do here at Soma Massage Therapy is that not only do I have a team of 25 therapists who each offer a number of things. We've got like a billion things you can choose from here. But when you come in for your appointment, I think no matter where you go, but something that we really pride ourselves in here at Soma is that we really take our time checking in with our clients to hear about what are their specific goals during that massage. And I hope that no matter where you go, your massage therapist has that same conversation with you. Because even if you've been going to them for 10 years, you might walk in with a completely different pain complaint or goal or stress relief goal that you're trying to work on that day. And so it's really important to spend time at the beginning of your session letting your therapist know, where does it hurt? When did it start? Where is it coming from? What makes it feel better? And give them the big picture of, like, since the last time you saw them, what's been going on. Because sometimes our clients will come in and they'll be like, I just really want you to jackhammer on my neck and shoulders because I've had a tension headache since, for the last 2 weeks. Well, then you dig a little deeper and you find out their car broke down. They got fired from their job. Their man went and left them. They lost their dog. And it's like the last thing that they need is for you to be hammering on their body and causing them to tense up even more, right? And so when you start hearing this like bigger picture, we as massage therapists can speak with them and say, well, we can certainly address the tension in your upper traps and your neck and shoulders, but I think today it might be good for us to work on doing some breath work. I can see that you're breathing with your neck muscles instead of your diaphragm. So let's bring your breath back down into your abdomen. Let's do some stretching. Let's do some grounding techniques and work more on the lower body. Are you okay with this? Right. And we just kind of, we come up with that treatment plan with them at the beginning of the session, track how their body's going, how their body's reacting during the massage, and make adjustments as needed. And I think whoever you see for your massage therapist, they really need to have that sort of customized approach because every person, every body, and every situation is always going to be different. So there's a million types of massage. And hopefully, even if your massage therapist isn't versed in all of them, which is impossible for them to be versed in all of them, they at least need to know well enough to connect with you and know what your goals are so that they can adjust their approach to make sure that your needs are being met. And that's something that we do really, really well here at Soma Massage Therapy.
I think that is absolutely very, very important. Every single person has his or her own situation, and having different type of massages, like hundred, like a lot of ways one can have this healing. I heard when you say the Swedish one is still the one that is still, more relevant,
Yeah.
but having different one is really, really important. So people have to understand that massage is not just the same thing. It depends on what is going on in the body.
That's
One
right.
have to understand it first. I think understanding is will make that person now understand better the
Yeah,
one
that's
he or
exactly right.
she really
Mhm.
needs. I think
Yeah,
that is very, very important.
that's
And
exactly right.
that is
Yeah.
very important. And I would also like to dive to the we do know that I know this thing do release a lot of chronic pain, stuff like that. But
Mhm.
I would like
Mhm.
you to just dive more on that, Mrs. Abba. How do you
Yeah.
feel like, this massage therapy really helps one in chronic pain,
Mhm.
headache, a lot of insomnia, a lot of things that could be going on within the health, most especially chronic pain and headache. How do you
Yeah.
feel like massage therapy really helps one in those areas, Mrs. Abba?
Yeah, that's a great question, Tammy. Thank you. Because there are obviously limits to the work that we can do, right? So we have to work within our scope of practice, right? We can never diagnose anything. We can't do any adjustments like on the spine. I, for example, years ago had a really nasty back injury and and I was in chronic pain for a couple of years. Massage therapy helped with the pain, but it wasn't going to fix the problem, right? I had, and I have since fixed the problem, but I had to see, a chiropractor and a few specialists to really kind of focus on that. And I use massage therapy to help relieve the pain. Similarly, people with fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, chronic migraines and headaches, depending on what's causing, especially headaches and migraines, there's only so much we can do. Now, we have had a number of clients who had significant relief from their headaches and their migraines just by simply just relaxing the muscles of the face, the jaw, the suboccipitals, the upper traps, like just relaxing the soft tissue in that area. But depending on what's causing it, there's only so much we can do. And so when we're working with a client who has chronic pain, like I said, fibromyalgia, chronic migraines, maybe it's maybe they need a hip replacement and they can't get it for a number of weeks or months, right? We can't fix the problem, but we can do a number of things that will benefit the client nonetheless. First of all, pain relief. Even if they're only getting pain relief for that 1 hour that they're on the table and their hip or their headache or their back or whatever it is not screaming at them, right? Even if it's just 1 hour, that still matters and that's still valuable. Another thing is it's going to boost the immune system. There's been a number of studies done that talk about how massage therapy can boost the immune system, which then is obviously going to have a lot of effects on just the overall stress relief and the body's ability to rebuild and to heal itself. So though we may not be able to obviously cure you, we can still kind of help the body kind of go in that direction to help alleviate some of the pain and some of the inflammation by boosting the immune system. It can get you out of your sympathetic nervous system, that's the fight or flight nervous system, and into your parasympathetic nervous system, that's the rest and digest, right? And that's where that healing happens. So again, though we may not be able to heal you or cure you or fix you, we can still provide a number of benefits that is still going to help with overall stress, inflammation, pain relief, boosting the immune system, helping you sleep better, help you digest your food better, which is obviously going to be good for the rest of the body too. So massage therapy is very beneficial. Even if we can't fix it, we can still certainly help. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely really, really like what you said. Honestly speaking, I think people now have more understanding that this can really bring the relief one needs. Every single relief,
Yeah.
whether headache or pain. But there are sometimes that the pain always go more constant or stuff like that. Then one
Yep.
can get, more, maybe getting more, probably seeing the medical or area. But
Yeah.
having that relief, I think massage really, really helps in that. I think people have to
Absolutely.
understand that it gives that relief, it gives that calmness, and but fixing the issue is not really something that it does, but it gives that
Right.
relief that that person needs. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. Thank
Yeah,
you so
absolutely.
much.
And like I said, there are still obviously like a number of benefits, even just giving someone relief, even for an hour when they're on your
Wow.
table, that still matters. And I think people don't really, I think people discount that more than they should. Yeah.
Wow, that's very, very inspiring. That is a very, very big insight. Thank you so much for that insight. And I also
Mhm.
lastly want to ask for this, Mrs. Amber. Some people, even I myself, and I'm one of them, have not gotten into the point of massage, but they want to get into the point for the first time. They were like, okay, let me see if I
Mhm.
could, go into massage for the first time. What do you think they should expect? And what do you think they need to know before they
Yeah.
could get into the massage, Mrs.
That's a
Amber?
great question, and I get that question a lot when I'm fortunate enough to work at the front desk. I do have, people who I've got a fantastic front desk team, but when I'm able to sit at the front desk and answer the phone, it's always a treat for me, and that's a very common question. I haven't gotten a massage before, and I really, I don't know what to expect, or it's my right shoulder that's hurting me, and I just want you to touch this for 75 minutes. So someone who has gotten massage before and thinks they know exactly what they need, and someone who's never gotten a massage before and has no idea. So for the first person who thinks they know exactly what they need, I only want you to massage this right shoulder for at least an hour. Look, it's your body, it's your time, and it's your money. So if that's what you absolutely insist on, I'm going to do my best, right? And we're going to work on that. But obviously, I mean, you're naked and probably mostly unconscious, right? So there needs to be certainly obviously a level of consent with all of this. And if that's what you want, then that's what we're going to do. But I also, as a massage therapist, want to educate you that we can work on this area for 60 or 75 minutes, but I'm not sure it's going to give you the results you need. And the reason I say that is because imagine that you're playing tug of war with a kindergartner, right? Tammy, you are a lot bigger and a lot stronger than a kindergartner. And so you are going to win that battle, and that weak side is going to, the kindergartner is going to quit before you are. And I try and explain that with the body too. So maybe your right shoulder is reacting because the left side of your neck is trying to pull you over, right? And the right side's trying to compensate, but maybe the left side is stronger than the right, and it's the right side that's quitting before the stronger left side, right? And so we can certainly massage where it hurts, but I also encourage people to try and massage maybe where it's coming from and look at, again, talking about fascia connecting the top to the bottom, working the entire body, right? And we can certainly focus on where it hurts, but maybe not spend all of our time there. And I'll leave it up to them, if that's what you choose to do. And a lot of times they're like, oh, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought of them. Like, that's why you pay me the big bucks. We'll get you on the table. We're going to start, maybe face down and get in our hands on that area to see where it's coming from, and then just kind of go from there. And we're going to consent with this treatment plan kind of all the way. The other person who calls and says, I've never gotten a massage before, but I got a gift certificate for my birthday. And honestly, I have been dealing with a bit of sciatica going down my left leg. Like, what do I need? And I just say, I'm like, let's just get you in for a 60-minute massage. Let's do like a full body assessment because, again, that tension and that pain that you're feeling in your left leg might actually be coming because the right side of your hip is so tight that the left side is spasming, right? And pushing down on that sciatic nerve and causing, that tingling and that pain going down your leg. So let's get you in, and maybe the right side is tight because your shoulders are hunched and your back is trying to stand up straight and your hamstrings are, pulling on your pelvis to straighten you out. Whatever it is, like, I don't know, I haven't gotten my hands on you yet, but let's get you in for maybe a 60-minute session. We can certainly spend a little more time on the area that's hurting, but let's get a good assessment of where it's coming from. And then after that, your massage therapist who's going to be a much better judge of what's going on than I am because I'm just talking to you on the phone. But your massage therapist can then recommend, I'd love to see you again in a week. We're going to spend 45 minutes specifically on that area because that's all it needs, right? Or I'd love to see you again in a week and we're going to do 90 minutes because you really do need a half an hour specifically in that hip, but I can feel that it's coming from these other areas too. We need more time, right? And then as you continue working on that, just like anything that you do with your body, Timmy, like if you want to, for an example, if you want to run a marathon, you don't just get up off the couch every once in a while and like walk around the block, right? Like you train, you're consistent. You keep at it because the more you do it, the better the results are. And same goes for massage. So we try and explain it to our clients, like you can come in on your birthday and when your sister-in-law comes to town, but if that's all you're doing, you're not getting any results. So by getting that full body, like kind of 1 hour assessment, seeing what it is we're working on and what we can recommend for next time, then we see them the next time, then we make another recommendation, and eventually they can come back in really just for that maintenance work that they might need maybe just once a month, once every 6 weeks, whatever it is. It's going to be different for every person. But just being open to, let's do a full body session, see what's going on, and take it from there is usually the first thing that I recommend to people.
Completely argue. What you say currently now is very, very powerful. You remind me of one guest I had. Like people used to focus on that pain. When they see a pain here, even I myself, I do it sometimes. When I just have the pain, I just say, okay, this is the pain. This is what I want to fix. I think we need to continue to just check the root too. We have to check other things that could cause that pain.
Yep.
Most of the time, it's not always that pain, and that's why I really like what you said. Having that analysis to make that person understand this is the pain, but we have to check
Yeah,
on other areas so we could know where those pains are coming from. Because if one
exactly.
do not fix that places, that pain will
Yeah,
still continue to come back. We know
yeah,
we do agree that massage cannot fix a problem, but we have to check because if that can be fixed, then those pain will definitely come down. It will definitely.
right. Well, and to say, I mean, massage can fix some things. I'm not supposed to say that, but like if it's soft tissue related,
Yeah.
right? Absolutely. We can certainly help 100% with that. And talking just one more sort of analogy to talk about, not only where it hurts, but where it's coming from. I'm not sure where you're located, Timmy, but I'm in Texas. And in Texas, we have really crappy soil and the foundation of the house is always shifting, right? And I try to explain, and my Texas clients get this, right? So I explain like, okay, so you're having tension, in your neck and shoulders, but think about when your house shifts and that foundation shifts, you don't see the cracks along the floor You see it higher up where the window and the ceiling and the wall all come together much higher up in your house. That's where you're seeing those cracks. So if we can certainly work where it's hurting from, but let's work the whole body because it's all connected. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you for giving that fixing. It doesn't fix the problem. It gives that relief. Thank you for that
Yeah.
correction, that insight. Thank you so much, Mrs. Alba.
Uh-huh.
And Mrs. Alba, lastly, there's a question I normally ask during the end of the show. You know, from our forefathers, there are a lot of beautiful things that do exist during our forefathers' time that is missing in our time today. If there is anyone or anything you would like to bring back to our time today, Mrs. Abba, what do you think that thing will be, Mrs. Abba?
When I was a little girl, I lived in North Dakota, and one of my favorite things to do was to just look at the stars. And I would just like lean my head so far back that all I would see was the stars, and I would feel like I was like falling into them, and you could just see the entire sky. And I know I live in a big metropolitan area, and so it's going to be hard to see the stars anyway. But even when I go back to small towns, there's so much light pollution that you just can't see the stars. And I think just having that sense of wonder and imagination and vastness, um, just really, I think that's really important for humans to feel small once in a while, and to be humbled by all of that. And so if I could bring back anything, it'd be the stars and the night sky. That's the thing I think I miss the most. Yeah.
Completely agree, Mrs. Abba. Honestly speaking, nature is powerful. If we can have nature, as in, we just feel the energy. The energy comes from every single way, whether it's the
Yeah.
star, whether it's everywhere. Even we know, internet is really fading a
Yeah.
lot of connection, but we know that this nature can really, really help someone emotionally in many, many ways. I think
Hmm.
those things are things we need to be seeing. Those things bring imagination, brings every single thing that
Yeah.
really, really helps. It brings meditation that could bring this
Yeah.
relief that we
It
need.
does. It
And
does. Yeah.
I want to sincerely thank you for the opportunity and the time. We are in a very long, like our distance is very long, but I want to sincerely thank you for the opportunity and
This
the
was
time.
so much fun, Timmy. I really enjoyed our conversation today. Thank you so much. What a joy.
All right. Have a wonderful day, Mrs. Amber. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.